Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak, and we have a beautiful day in South Florida, don't we?
It is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, sunny, and a nice breeze.
Nice breeze. It's coming out of the east-northeast, so people that believe in that, and there's something to it that might affect help closures this afternoon. We have a fast main track, firm turf course. We had a lot of rain the last couple of days, but just a beautiful day for racing. And, of course, what do we have? Starting in race 5 today, we have a 10-race card. We have our Rainbow Six, and there you see the carryover. 6,172,000. It's going to rise pretty good today. It'll probably be around $6.5 million by the time the fifth race rolls around. And we have some big news about that Rainbow Six.
This continues to grow, and we are going to have a mandatory payout if no one hits the Rainbow Six before then. On Memorial Day, May 26th, we're going to have a live card of racing that day. So come on out, play the Rainbow Six. Why not?
You see that slate, it says over $10 million. There's estimations that there could be $10 to $20 million in the pool that day. And mandatory payouts means exactly what it is. The whole pool has to be given out on that day. But we do have 4 or 5 racing cards to go. And if you get lucky, you can hit that thing today. As we mentioned, we got that 5-race card. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, the Kentucky Derby won by California Chrome. We want to go back and visit the stretch call of that race before we get to talk about the Preakness a little later on, Katie.
Now, neither of us had California Chrome on our tickets that day. You're going to see a change in that. We're going to give you our picks for the Preakness today later on, but this was just a phenomenal stretch run from California Chrome. Really, no one is catching him. There's nobody really coming close. Horse is just picking up the pieces, but he runs away with it. California Chrome, I have this to say to you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, he ran a fantastic performance. Now, there was a lot of horses that had some trouble in that race.
Absolutely.
And a horse that couldn't make it to the Kentucky Derby by a nose. We're talking about our local horse here, Social Inclusion, who finished third, did not have enough points, finished third in the Wood, did not have enough points to get into the Kentucky Derby, but he's a fresh horse going into the Preakness, and we want to take a look back and show that performance in the Wood Memorial where he was beating a whisker for second, and that would have put him into the Kentucky Derby.
Right, like you said, this horse was beating a nose for second, meaning he was probably a nose short of running in the Kentucky Derby. That probably would have given him enough points. And this is a really nice horse, really lightly raced horse. I think he has a great shot today, and this was still a nice run from him. Of course, this race was won by Wicked Strong, whom I'm already thinking about for the Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, see, he was the A horse in there, and he just came in no short. He had trouble early in the race, and his 2 performances here at Gulfstream Park were unbelievable. I've never seen a horse. I mean, he just became the talk of the town, and we had some of the best 3-year-olds in the country. And talking about one of the horses that ran in the Kentucky Derby and is coming back is General A-Rod, who we've seen run down here. So, but we'll talk about the Preakness a little later on. We want to get you tied on with our 10-race card today. We mentioned at the top of the show we have a fast main track, a firm turf course, and Katie, we're going to go to the first race once I get these pages turned. And our first race on the Saturday card is a 7-furlong claimer, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 in life, and they're running for that claiming tag of $20,000. And if you're looking at the board now with a lot of time left, the 5 is the current favorite. How did you see it?
I went with the 2, Barton Lake. This is a horse that started out running in a $40,000 maiden special weight, and 2 starts back, he ran in a $75,000 optional claimer. So his connections had to think pretty highly of him, and he's taking a big step down now. And in that $75,000 optional claimer, he didn't have a chance that day. He was in tight quarters and had to steady on the first turn, and that really took him out of the race before he even had a chance to run. I think his best performances have come when he's sitting just off the lead. And he's run exclusively here at Gulfstream, so he knows the track really well. Yeah,
I mean, we have our exacta flip-flop here. I had the 2 on my ticket for all the key reasons Katie mentioned, but I went with the number 4, Forest Friends. Defeated $25,000 maidens at this distance back on in February. I like a horse that's a proven commodity at the 7-furlong distance. It's an in-between distance. Some horses like it, some horses don't. Drops to the $20,000 level after a couple of third-place finishes. That was against $32,000 2 lifetime claimers. It was across town at Calder, but I just think this horse is spotted very nicely. The 2 horse that you mentioned have on my ticket, and I also used the 3 Está Bueno. But 5, I wouldn't put too much stock in the early wagering. Maybe that'll end up being a favorite, but a lot of time left. We have 50 minutes to the first race. We're going to flip the page and we're going to be on the turf course. And as we mentioned, the turf course listed is firm, but we had about 5 inches of rain over the last couple of days, and we were off the turf yesterday. So coming back, turf course should be in pristine condition, and these are the early races that you have to pay attention, see how the races play out for when you use Bet Your Rainbow 6, which starts in race 5. So the second race, 5 furlong sprints, claimer, fillies and mares, 3 and up, claiming price $30,000, scratch the 3, the 5, and the number 10. And how did you, we both have the 7 up there.
I was a little disappointed because the 5 Tricky Woman scratched, and I really liked her in this race. So I scratched into So Royal, the 7. She broke her maiden 2 starts back here and followed it up with a 3rd place finish on April 13th. And I watched that race, and she got pinched back a tiny bit at the end there, and I think that may have cost her the race, or at least the 2nd position. I think she runs better here than anywhere else.
Yeah, that was a big scratch for me, too. I had the number 5 horse on my ticket. And the number 7, for all the reasons you mentioned, was in tight quarters. It was the favorite going that 5 furlong distance. And that was on a good turf course. Today we're dealing with a firm turf course. I wanted to mention at the top of the show, we did get some rain, so there might be a little give in that turf course.
Absolutely.
2nd horse I used in there was the 6 horse, and that was Solitary. This one's going to wear blinkers after rallying to get bid 2.5 lengths against similar. It was just on last Saturday, so coming back in short rest. Milt Wilson has Edgar Zayas, and Edgar Zayas riding in great form. He's had 8 wins over the last 5 days at either here or across town. So good trainer and good jockey.
Absolutely. I actually talked to Edgar yesterday, and he says his goal is to win the riding title here at our summer meet and also across the way at Calder. That's a pretty ambitious goal.
Oh, if anybody can do it, it's him. He had a fantastic summer here last year.
Absolutely.
So our second race, as we mentioned, 5 furlongs on that firm turf course. We're going back to the main track for our 3rd race. 6 furlong claimer, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming tag in here is $6,250. No scratches or jockey changes to report. And then we both went with number 6, longer terms, Doug. Looks like the one to beat in there.
Absolutely. I agree. This is a veteran of 39 starts, 11 wins, more than $100,000 in lifetime earnings. He's run and won for more money than he's going to be running for today. And he was a really encouraging 2nd last time out. He kind of had to steady on the back stretch when he got blocked. And then he had to make a 3-wide move, and he still kept running and was only beaten 1.5 lengths that day. So I think he'll run even better today.
Yeah, if you're a buyer figure aficionado, you look at the last buyer figure, he got an 80 in there, and that dwarfs the rest of the competition. So if you're a fig guy, especially a buyer fig guy, hard not to have the number 6 longer-term Doug's in your ticket. I used the inside horse in the 2nd spot, Buzztown, turning back to a sprint on the dirt, showed speed, faded. That was a pair of $10,000 claimers going a mile on the turf upstate at Tampa. Always a sucker for speed on the grass, turning back in distance. So see if that horse could be on the ticket. Who else you use?
I did take a look at Buzztown. My only concern was him that he's actually had a little bit of some gait issues in his past few starts, and I think that's affected him. I went with Rascality. He's on a 2-race winning streak. He's been in the money 7 of his last 9, and his trainer, Jared Cheeks, is winning at a 27% clip with horses that are making the first start for him.
So, and the other horse we both use is the 5 Artie Ocean. It ships down from Tampa, and it's a good point to make here now, Katie. A lot of horses that we haven't seen all winter long, shipping down from Tampa, and it takes some time to figure out what their actual level will be here at Gulfstream Park. So these races are important for the rest of the summer campaign. Make sure that you see, where these horses fit. A $10,000 claimer upstate might be only a $6,000 claimer down here.
Absolutely.
So you have to try and figure that out. It's always hard when all these horses come in from all over the place.
I completely agree. These are like rehearsals for us to see how they're going to do later on, and it says a lot to me when I see a horse that's proven here at Gulfstream over a horse that maybe has been doing well, but we haven't seen it yet here.
We're going to stretch it out to a 1-turn mile for our 4th race. Claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Big scratch in here of the morning line favorite, number 7, Whiskey Tap. How did you see the race?
Yeah, I had Whiskey Tap on top, and I was disappointed to see him scratch because I really liked him last time and he won, and I liked him today. So I went with Sailing Clear, the 8th. He's been first and second in his past two, and he's in the money 75% of the time that he's running here at Gulfstream. So again, like we just mentioned, this is a horse that's proven here, but he hasn't run here in a little while.
Yeah, you know, the trainer of the number 7 horse that scratched is Sandito Hernandez Jr., and he also trains the number 8 Sailing Clear. So, you know the adage, he had 2 horses in a race. We do not have coupled entries here in Florida anymore at Gulfstream Park, I should say. And May kept this one in, took the other one out. Looks like might be the right horse to have on top of your ticket. But with that said, I went with the 2 Becky's Kitten, shortening up today to a 1-turn mile after finishing, I thought, a willing second versus similar. That was a mile and 70 yards. That was 2 turns across town, and here going back to 1-turn mile at Gulfstream Park. The mile distance is 1 turn. Across town, it's 2 turns, a smaller track. So I just thought that was the right thing. We basically have the same selections on there: 2, 8, 4, 8, 4, and 2. The old trifecta box always helps you out. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at the rest of the Saturday card, Preakness Saturday card.
This is a moment of history.
Treat yourself like royalty when wagering on the sport of kings with ExpressBet. ExpressBet is the legal, fast, and secure way to bet on over 300 tracks around the world. No other website offers you greater value with 100% free wagering, past performances, video replays, and daily picks. Sign up today to receive a bonus and start earning points with XP Rewards. Earn even more when you refer your friends. It's the most rewarding experience in racing. ExpressBet, your way to play.
OBS is the leading 2-year-old source to the world. The OBS June sale has produced such prominent runners as 2013 Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner Golden Sense and 2014 Fountain of Youth Stakes winner Wildcat Red. Nearly 1,200 quality racing prospects will be offered at the OBS June sale of 2-year-olds and horses of racing age June 17th through 20th. OBS, we measure success by performance.
Welcome back. Our 5th race, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claimers 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 3 in life. 12,500. Scratch 10 and 13. The jockey on the 11 is Ramsey Zimmerman. This is where the Rainbow Six kicks in with over the $6 million in the pool, and that starts in the 5th race today. So you have to get tied on by now. When we told you at the top of the show, watch those earlier races, see how this wind, we have a pretty strong wind, is affecting the racing, see how the turf course is playing, and you know about the mandatory payout.
Absolutely, mandatory payout Memorial Day, and like Ronnie mentioned, first few races, that's your homework, study. Now it's time for the exam to get your bets in and get a piece of that money.
Yeah, well, let's look at this 5th race. We were cracking up. We put a tip sheet out today, and we have dueling best bets in here. My best bet was the number 9, a time mark. And Katie's best bet was the 1 Discreet Edge. So I want to hear what she has to say about her best bet, and then I'll tell you about mine.
Okay, and I did consider to mark, but I went with Discreet Ed, and I really like this horse. He's on a 2-race win streak, so is in very good form. He broke his maiden 2 starts back and then followed it up with another win. So I think he's getting it and coming into his own. And I really, really like the horses he beat too. 2 starts back, he beat a horse named Scarabajo, who came back to win very impressively here. And he also beat a horse named Dragon Tail, who came back and posted 2 back-to-back in the money finishes. So nice horses. And his trainer, Rashawn Creaky, is doing really, really well here right now. He's 40% with horses that won their last start. So that is Discreet Ed. That is my best bet. So show me what you've got here.
Well, no, I was laughing about Rashawn Creaky. We finally got his name right. We're settling on that. We were trying a new trainer in town, and we wanted to get his name right. Well, let me tell you about my best bet. If anybody follows my analysis over the last 600 years that I've been here at Gulfstream Park, knows that I'm a key race fanatic, and this number 9, Time Mark, comes out of a key race. He's now moved to the Peter Walder barn via the claim, so I like that. Stretches out to a mile and a 16th. He edged away 4 wide, and he defeated a couple of next out winners in that race. 2 horses that came back to win that I really, really liked. One of them being Zimetra D, and the other one just last week, Saturdays for Fun. So that's a key race, 2 lifetime claimer back on March 30th. I like the barn switch. Peter Walder's 27% with horses coming back from a 31 to 60 day. freshening. So we both have our best bets in here. But the funny thing is I have them, I did the morning line and he's in there almost exactly the same. One's 3 to 1, one's 7 to 2. So you might have to go exacta or trifecta box in here. We're going to flip the page and go to the 6th race of the afternoon. 6 furlong claim is 3 and up. Non-winners are 3 in life. $12,500. Jockey on the 4, Shannon Yuski. How'd you see the 6?
I went similarly to you, I think. I like Grand Bamboo, who's taking a bit of a drop in class. He's a former $40,000 yearling purchase, and I just think he's the most consistent runner in this field. Prior to his last start, he had 2 back-to-back third-place finishes, and he's in the money 46% of the time. I like numbers, percentages, consistency.
Yeah, and he's plummeting down, in class-wise, from, into this $12,500 free lifetime claimer. Looks like you want to beat in here, but you have to make that decision like you do in each one of these races in the Rainbow Six sequence. Do you single a horse like this, or do you use other horses? We both had the one Running Thunder on our ticket, and a couple of different selections in third, so that's the decision you have to make. We're going to go to the 7th race. We're going to go back to sprinting on the grass, 5 furlongs, maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Blinkers on the number 4 horse, and note that they scratched number 7 in here, Warm Front, and I went with the 2, Miss June. You went with the number 3 horse in here. Pray tell why.
I just think Bonnie Breeze is ready to break through. She's been second in her past 2 starts. She knows how to run, and I think she's going to get it done this time. Though I did also like Miss June, who was previously in the Chad Brown stable. Now she's with Marty Wolfson, and he wins at a 30% clip with his first-time starters.
Yeah, and he's also good with horses going from a route to a sprint. You look at his record, he's about 34%. And, it's a $150,000 daughter of More Than Ready, and I love More Than Ready's on the grass. And you mentioned Marty Wolfson. You can't go wrong going into his barn. And this horse probably just left down here as Chad went up north, and this horse looks good. And also have 3 Bonnie Breeze. Logical choice in here to win, actually, Bonnie Breeze, posting back-to-back second-place finishes. And the other horse I used was Twice by Sunday, which you did too. And Twice by Sunday is making her career turf debut. Promising a debut in the slop. Pretty nice breeding. Ralph Nix does a good job. Daughter of Sky Mesa, so we'll see how that works out.
My reasoning exactly.
Okay, 8th race. Back to the main track, 1 mile. Allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $25,000. Blinkers on the number 5, Prontos. This is the 8th race. How did you see it?
Rock on. I'm going with Rock Alex. He's a veteran of 42 starts, 8 wins, over $200,000 in earnings. He's won his last 2, and that includes a start here at Gulfstream at this distance. He has graded stakes experience, and you look at his past performances, and you see names like Dadsy's Lap, who came back to win the big drama here last week. So I'm going with experience here. Yeah,
Dadsy's laughing. We both picked him last week. Why? Because who was he running against? Reba Bobo. So a lot of class in that selection. Here's the question. I see in the 2nd spot you have, in the 3rd spot you have the number 4. Also I do, Birdie House. Going to face winners. This was a pretty nice performance. Shaking off trouble at the start, ran off to win that race by 7 lengths. I was so tempted to put this horse on the top of the ticket, but I see you and I both sort of moved him back a little bit.
I was too. He's by far the most inexperienced horse in this field, but he certainly has some talent, and that 7 1/4 length win definitely caught my eye.
Yeah, so you got to have him somewhere on the ticket. And when you're making out your Rainbow Six ticket, please, I think you need to put that horse somewhere on your ticket.
Yeah, I don't think this is a race where you want to single him.
No, definitely not. It's wide open. All right, our next race, the feature race, and boy, what a great feature race it is. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. The Flying Pigeon, $75,000 guaranteed, and we have the scratch of the number 6 Dangerous Lad out of the body of the race. Then all the main track only participants have been scratched, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and this is the return of Little Mike. Now, Little Mike hasn't run since he ran in Hong Kong. It's been a while. Does he get beat today, or is he just too classy for these guys?
I think he's just too classy. I went and visited with Little Mike and trainer Carlo Vaccarezza on Wednesday, and Little Mike looked fantastic. Mr. Vaccarezza told me that he lost a lot of weight after that Hong Kong race, but he's gained all of it back and seems to be thriving. He also actually stays fit by using this incredible horse spa machine where he stands in there for 20 minutes a day in freezing cold water with Epsom salts. That's supposed to be really therapeutic. And
how's it work for old handicappers, is it?
Below freezing temperatures sometimes. Don't know how pleasant that would be for you. But even besides that, this horse is just by far the class of the field. He's a Breeders' Cup champion, winner of the Arlington Million, four-time Grade 1 winner, $3.4 million in earnings. I mean, is he beatable? Yes. Am I going to go against him? No.
Yeah, there's a couple of other horses in the race. And everything that Katie said about Little Mike, sure, and he schooled out here yesterday. He looked fantastic. You know, a horse like the 8-horse Grand Tito, if you go back, he's undefeated at this distance on the turf, so he looks like he can run well in there. And the one Padilla, we both have on our ticket, this one was in $100,000 optional claimers. This is a pretty tough field. It's not just a walkover for a Little Mike.
Absolutely not. There are some nice horses. Padilla won an allowance here at Gulfstream, 3 starts back. He's been in the money in all of his starts here at Gulfstream, and he's definitely a nice horse. But it's going to take a lot to beat Little Mike, in my opinion.
Well, right after we do our final 10th race of the card, we'll give you our Preakness selections, and I'm very interested to see where Katie is going to be going with her selections in the Preakness. This last race on the card, live race at Gulfstream Park, 6 furlongs, maiden claim is 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. The jockey on the 8 is Manny Aguilar. This was the total head scratcher for me. Yes. I mean, if I have enough money, enough 20-cent tickets, I'm going all in this last race because I'm not convinced. I have the 3, the Pepto Express on top of my ticket, but I'm not, locked into that horse. I see you went with the number 1, who I don't even have on my ticket, and I think that's the kind of race it is.
Absolutely. I studied this race for what seemed like forever, just going back and forth. I like this one. Actually, no, wait, but this one did this. So definitely a wide open race. And yeah, I went with the 1, Hennis. I think he took a while to get going, but I think he's finally figuring it out, and I think he's found the right level of competition after starting out running for a bit more money than he's going to be running for today. He's been in the money in 4 of his last 5, and he had a nightmarish trip last time out. I think he's ready to break through today.
And like we said, it's a pretty wide open race. I did go with that 3, the Pepto Express, dropping to the $12,500 level, chase the pace weekend. That was a pair of $25,000 ones. Where up at Tampa, here's that problem we were mentioning, trying to figure out exactly where these horses fit. So if you need something to put you over, look at the jockey, Edgar Zayas, as you said. Katie talked to him the other day. He's riding great form, and he wants to be a leading rider, both here, there, and if Tampa was open, probably there too.
If he could make it to Tampa and back in time, absolutely.
Well, the Preakness Stakes a little later on at our sister track at Pimlico. It looks like it's a beautiful day out there, up there in Maryland. And so what happens? We watched, we saw California Chrome, we saw everybody else struggling behind them. What'd you come up with?
I hinted at it earlier, but I had to put California Chrome on top. And I didn't take any of the horses that ran in the Derby. I didn't take them today because I think he was just so much better than everyone else in that race on Derby Day. I think Social Inclusion has the best chance to beat him. He actually reminds me a little bit of a horse named Bernardini, if you remember, in 2006, who was very lightly raced and very highly touted going into the Preakness, and he went on to win that race. I think Social Inclusion has trained really well here at Gulfstream, and he went from an allowance to running 3rd in the Wood. We mentioned only missed the Derby by a nose. Who knows what he could have done on Derby Day. So those are my top 2, California Chrome and Social Inclusion. And then I threw in Bayern. He was 3rd in the Arkansas Derby behind Danza, who was 3rd in the Kentucky Derby, and he had a terrible trip. I'm already looking at him for the Belmont. And Bayern won the Derby trial last time out, but he was disqualified and placed 2nd. And he's from the Bob Baffert barn, who has 5 Preakness wins. That's 3rd most all time. I can't go against Bob Baffert in a Preakness.
That was great analysis, but I'm going with General A-Rod. I'm going to give General A-Rod one more chance. He got murdered in there, never got to run his race. I like the connections, the trainer Mike Maker. I'm going to give this horse one more chance. you got to have California Chrome somewhere on your ticket after that performance. And if he would win, it wouldn't shock me, not one iota. And social inclusion, my only problem with social inclusion, I just think, you know, he missed a race that he was supposed to have here with a little stone bruise. Coming up to that race off, you know, the only last time he ran was in the woods. So coming off the race on works, I think he might be a little short, but I got to have him somewhere on my tri-ticket. Well, that's how we see the Preakness and how we see Saturday's card. Any final words for the folks out there?
Get your preak on.
That's not a curse, is it? Good luck, everybody.
Have a great day.